All right. I had to calm down a little bit. Um, you know, when you get to, you know, when these target individuals, sorry, these perps, and they try to make it hard for me to speak because it is obvious that these people are wanting me to see them in this fashion. They were making me think of this kid, this like I call it the little squirrel. I made a video. It's this squirrel, this tiny little kid, and they were trying to make me look at her in a sexual way, try to make me look at her in a womanly. This is a tiny little 15-year-old kid, tiny. It disgusts me that they have the ability to force me to look at this kid in a sexual way. It's just annoying. It's frustrating because there's nothing womanly about her, but they're trying to create something womanly about her. And you hear these perps, which also consists of my coworkers and my employer currently, which they're not the reason why I'm in this program. It's funny how they try to use this facade of like, oh, we at war. I'm like, you at war with a child too? Because they torture children. They're not at war. This is human experimentation, and they're experimenting on people and manipulate them. Do you know that this? And I didn't want to say that in this initial video when I made about the squirrel. I call it the squirrel. Try to turn a squirrel into a woman because she's a little tiny little girl. She's a 15-year-old, like short, kind of compressed kid, right? And so they're trying to make her voluptuous by making these kids and the legs and try to make this is tiny. And I just imagine like these people was like, oh, you are a pedo. You know how delusional these people are? These people are pedophiles. Try to make you a pedophile. And you have these co-workers, colleagues that claim that they are at war, and so that's why we're doing this. No, trash. You are actually working for these pedophiles. You're an opportunist and you have nothing to do with me being in this program, but you think that I'm going to look at you and think, oh wow, you are absolutely are protecting your kids. They were trying to bring up the one thing they try to bring up is it's always like the person I follow in 2014, right? And I always going to bring that up because when you see the picture of her, right, which in my video I talk about this. If when you see her, right, this is how she looked. As you can see, looking at this picture, you think it's a woman. This squirrel is like a midget. Sorry, I don't mean to be insultive. It's like somebody who's been compressed. It's just a little kid, like 15-year-old, and they're like, "Oh, you see, that's proof." It's a little, like a little compressed human being, just like tiny, like this little nothing. And they're like, "Oh, but you see, you remember, you follow her, you follow her in 2014. This person, you see." It's like they're so delusional. They just this looking. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just frustrating. It's like, do you know that I know that you manipulate me to see this thing? And they're like, oh, he's gonna hurt you. He's gonna rape. Like, I'd rather get raped. These people are actually pedophiles. These people not only they force you to have these perceptions of disturbing, but you're using these children. And I think they have her or dress her in a certain way, like she was wearing short, and so they try to make me think of her legs in this sexual way. And I'm like, the only way you can make me see this kid in a sexual way is because you manipulate me. You try to create perception that I will have toward a woman. She obviously does not look like a woman. There's nothing womanly about her. But they try to turn things that are try to turn things into womanly things like her legs. Even me saying that, they're literally stimulating me. And they want me to feel guilty for this nasty perception they forced onto me, on this little compressed looking human being. That's all I can say. She's a little compressed and just like tiny. I'm like, oh. Now like they try to make me think in her. Do you know that I didn't want to be graphic. And the reason why I'm frustrated is because they had to use, they made me think of this, and I'm sorry, I don't want to sound graphic. They made me think of a porn star and start making me think of this porn star. That's how disturbing these people are. And make me think of this little compressed little crap. I'm sorry, I don't want mean to insult her, but I wish I could see her. Like, I wish I could have taken a picture of this person, this kid. And you have these perps there, oh, it's war. Do you know that they know that some of the methods they've used to make me start thinking of this kid in a sexual way is to make me think of a porn star that's Hispanic, to try to make me start thinking this little compressed thing that she is, the little kid, in a sexual way. Do you understand how disgusting? And they call it, oh, we are war. Now, they want to say, oh, no, it's because they're going to see this. Like, no, you guys do these things. This is, I was put in a program by people who have power, influence, and I'm here with perps, and perps are going to do what perps do. and that's gonna follow me everywhere I go. That's why I'd rather stay here and see the perps for what they are, and force them to be as bottom feeders as they have to be. We're not unable to speak about an actual pedophile to pick up kids, and they're like, "Oh no, but you remember you follow this person." Look, you follow her. You see, that's proof. And you hear this, oh, that's how you see that's it. Of course, this person looks like an adult, but she's not, but she looks like it. You have this kid that looked like a freaking a half human. This little tiny little thing, and then you try to make me, oh, that's you. And they use this childlike individual who keeps telling that they're gonna say that I raped her, and I'm like, please go for it. Please go do that. Please do that. If you haven't done it, go run and say that I raped you, because they don't understand that the consequences of saying things like that comes back. What do you think 5 years from now? What do you think this kid's gonna happen? Like if this child go around and the mother and father say tell them, oh, you go tell him that he raped you. What do you think? You think life is gonna be sweet? Oh my gosh, she's gonna come back with the vengeance that you don't understand. Nobody lives a happily life doing the things that they do. They can't. They're just waiting for the day that comes. For me, they're like, "Oh, do you gonna get ripped?" I'm like, it's that. I don't care. Please go compromise this kid even more. And look at your parents, look at your mother and your father. Say, "Thank you, mom and dad. You thank you for compromising me to this level, because I'm sure there's no good thing. Good things are not coming for me." They wanted to be, no, we're doing it for our women. I was like, oh my gosh, the women that you guys have raped to death. There is nothing. I will never let them live their fantasy. I'd rather get raped. Did you understand that even rape doesn't fear that? I, I have fear of course, I don't want to get raped. Of course. Of course, I don't want to be tortured and screaming and burned. But it doesn't even, in comparison to doing what they do, it doesn't phase me. It doesn't phase me at this point. I'm like, if somebody right now knocked on the door, is like, hey, let's go. We're gonna cut you in pieces. We're gonna do this and that. Let's go, you piece of shit. You want the theaters. You want to look like you are here avenging, and when you trash a bunch of pedos, you guys are a bunch of pedos. You are trash and pedos. You want me to accept these pedophilia things, and so you want to create this false theater, cinematic, fictional reality that you created to make yourself believe that you somehow, you see he's this is natural happening. We did not make him think of a porn star when thinking about this kid. We don't do that. And they're like, oh, kill yourself. Like, say the name. They know better. Now, I'm going to die. I'm going to go through whatever I'm going to go through. But I'm so thankful I didn't have to live this life. For my colleagues and coworkers that want to delude themselves that they are war, and when they say things like they are war, and I know they do this to kids, and I know they're just in a sweatpants talking about their war. They're just sitting somewhere, just watching me and manipulating my brain and forcing me to think of this. I'm calling compressed squirrel. It's a squirrel. It's a tiny human. It's like she might be like 4'9", just like pure compressed kid, child. Try to make and it's so disturbing when they even use adult women to make me start thinking of her in a sexual way. Just it's so disgusting. And they have many ability to change my perception. And in my memories, oh my goodness, it becomes even more. That's why I take pictures. Because these people look like freaking compressed little I'm telling you, and I'm gonna say this kid looks like maybe 14 years old max, 15 max. Tiny little thing. At this point though, all I know is if any of these kids try to do this thing where they try to show themselves, and I'm gonna take pictures, I'm gonna show it, like, listen, this look, they're protecting, look at this. I rather die slow. Because at this point I've seen this, my death is something else, is biblical. These people wanted to live their fantasy. Um but look at what happened. In the midst of trying to make me subscribe to their pedophilia type of torture, this BuzzFeed article comes out show that they have issues with pedophiles in these agencies. I mean, we're talking about from DARPA to DOD. We're talking about CIA to NRO. It's across all this intelligence community. On top of that, you have to understand that the people who put in this program actually paid for a campaign of this assistant DA that was picking up kids as young as this little compressed thing when he was an assistant DA. Well, for me, they are trying to make me imagine kids and then make me imagine a porn star and say, "Oh, we did it. Yes, you do this. That's what you do." Can you imagine? Oh no, you don't do that. You don't do the pedophilia type of torture. This is something unique to others. It's me naturally. Try to force, and you don't manipulate the perceptions. This little compressed midget is truly what I want. It's true. I looked at it and said, "Oh, this is what I want." This little thing. They have no shame. Yes, they do it. Yes, they sold the soul to pedophiles. Yes, they're supposed. That's their job, though. Like I have to remember, for my neighbors, I see them most like 100% pros. So when they do this, I'm like, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You sold your soul to pedophiles, and this is what you do. But when I hear my like people at my employer involved in this, they disgust me beyond nth degree. Especially I try to when they try to say, "Oh no, we are war. You're gonna be tortured. He's gonna rape you." It's like I'd rather get raped. You guys, soldiers, you think this little? You're delusional. I know who I am. I know what you guys are trying to change me as, and I know that you guys been doing these pedophilia things forever. Now, when you every time I look at a kid, you're gonna try to force me to look at this kid sexually. That's why I take picture of this because I know my perceptions is so manipulated. And you guys use this childlike people who repeat things, because there are these methods of repetition, of pedophilia type of torture, of manipulations. And you're not at war. You'll never be at war. What kind of person do you think you think you'll survive war? These people are the weakest human being. These people are the weakest human beings in all level. You know how they have to delude themselves. You are here because you have the ability to escape from reality, and it doesn't take a strong person to do that. It takes the weak, disgraceful human being to do what you do. It's no self-respect. But I'm here to help you. I'm gonna give you your credit in regard of how degrading to yourself you are. But when the time comes back to them, and I don't care about them. To be honest, if I don't see them in 2 days, in 3 days, I forget about them. I'll never think about my current employer. I gotta think of no. I forget them immediately when they're not around. I don't think about them. But one person I always think about and I have on my phone is the person responsible for me being here. The reason why they can't say the name. This is the person. I will not forget the people who put me in this program. These people, yes, I'll forget. I think they were just trash that did their part in me being tormented and tortured, but they were not the people responsible for it. They wanted to live this fantasy. They had these people coming. Oh, we do research. Oh my! You know how dumb you have to make yourself be. Work on the research. Are you? The research you're doing is research of a weapon that manipulates the people that the subjects are. This is there's not research to figure out who this person is. It's research. How can we manipulate somebody to think of children in this ways? Can you imagine try to think of a porn, make somebody think of porn side and I was like, oh, this is research. Yes, it's research. It's a weapon research. It's research on how you can manipulate human beings, disturb them, push them to suicide. That's the kind of research that has been ongoing for years. That's why you torture people for research. What kind of torture? Psychological torture, physical torture, and any other torture. That's the kind of war and I hear this fraud that's try to make itself be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be us. Yes, you're gonna frame me. You're trash. You're not protecting anybody. You are here trying to force people to lose their mind, and you use this disturbing pedophilia tactics to break people down. And you don't care about women since you've been torturing a lot of women. Why do you think I'm so confident about what you guys do? It's because somebody like Mariana says like they like to do this program perversion. Sorry, they like to manipulate the perceptions. They manipulate the perception so bad that it's perverted. They make you think in this perverse way and make you perceive in this perverted way. How do I know this? It's because somebody else said that. That's the research. No, it didn't even take research. It took the first video of testimonial to hear that. Within a week, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so obvious. They do the pedophile type of torture. They manipulate the perception. They change they force you to get stimulation and whatever. It's disgusting. And they try to prove their point by, oh, yeah, but oh, white girls. With no shame. And then you look at this trash and they're like, oh, can't wait to see you going to be tortured. Yo, this is for your theater. This is for you. Huh? You're going to watch me scream. Oh my gosh. Oh, they castrating him. Oh, yes, that's even more true now. Oh, he's going to scream. Oh, yes. We don't do the pedophile type of torture. Do you understand? Oh no! He's suffocating. Oh, we don't torture children anymore. He's starving. Guess what? We don't do sexual torture on women. Do you understand the reality they have to create? They are delusional and live off a reality it's just so illogical. But I'm here to help them out. I think that's my purpose here. I'm a vessel for many things, I guess. I'm a vessel for them to manipulate me, I guess, but also I'm a vessel to let them know what they're really part of. It's not, it is fate that as they try to make me accept this persona, this BuzzFeed article comes out and expose these agencies for having a bunch of pedophiles. As they try to make me subscribe to this persona, the people who put me in this program sponsor an actual pedophile. As they try to create their facade, the people who put me in this program are the opposite of what the facade they try to create. I basically had to show that I'm basically a mirror that they didn't want to have to see, and that's why it's going to go to the extreme, to the extreme, as they try to make me think of this compressed little squirrel-looking child, and they're like, this little. I mean, I'm scared that one day one of these kids gonna do something, and I'm gonna look at this little, and I'm gonna scroll down like, do you know that you could do nothing to me? You're nothing but little kids. You cannot do anything to me organically. You're a child. You don't even look like you look like a baby. And they try to be, oh, but that you mean the one that looked like an adult woman? That I thought it was an adult woman because she looked like an adult woman? Oh my gosh. Crazy, huh? Oh, so that means that little compressed little squirrel is how they have delusional. And it's like, no, we just matched. Oh, they're twins. Twins. Wow, they look so much alike. No, no, let me see. Wow. I swear this level of like they are matching these these people are twins. They're twins. That's how she look like. Twins. Wow. The type of analyzing is just superb. Wow. Do you understand how delusional these people are? Dude, we match. No, you're idiots. And you think you're gonna gaslight me into accepting these things? You guys are disgusting low lives. And I'm not gonna let you live your fantasy. You guys actually torture children, and no, on top of that, but filled with pedophiles. I will continuously say that you guys are ran by pedophiles. That's why you have this type of matching. You're matching to somebody who look like a freaking adult. When you see the little kid with a little fucking little compressed thing, and you have my coworkers say, "Oh my gosh, are you all pedos?" No, stop it. You work for your pedos. That's why you have so much power. Why do you think there's so many pedophiles in those agencies? Why you are the pedos. I'm not subscribing. You're not gonna tell me about somebody I follow on Snapchat in 2014 that looked like an adult woman and be like, oh, you see, that's proof. No, you guys are the pedos. You are here forcing me to look at kids in a sexual way. Some of them don't even barely look like they hit like cute teenagehood. The little chubby little compressed little things. Look, what the hell? You have this little kid just posing, try to make themselves look more voluptuous or something. Try to like stick the butt out, just try to. Ugh. And then what happens? I take picture of that. Look at these little kids. This thing just do nothing. I have more curves than this kid. They have no shame. Embarrassing low lives. So to all my target individuals, stay strong. I'm sorry about my emotions, but sometimes it's just too much. And I think that you gotta be strong into like do not let yourself go. I'm surrounded by people who have no self respect, but I'm not gonna let them live their fantasy. I know who I am, and I know that they do this pedophilia tormenting. And when I hear my colleagues and coworkers and employers doing these things, and I look at them, it's like you have no shame. No wonder they use you guys like this. You are war for what? With what? With rationale? That's the only war they in. They are they are at war with rationality. Rationality is their enemy. Rationality, logic is the enemy. Being logical is the enemy. They are fighting against logic and rationality. For me, every time they like try to manipulate something else, it's so disgusting. They are disgusting. Disgusting. And they're like, no, we dared. Yes, of course you dared behind those doors. You are the biggest darers. Continue to be darers and brave people that you are. You understand? Rationality is their enemy. They are indicating like, oh, you're nothing. Rationality is the enemy. They are the something. Doing this pedophilia type of torture. Rationality is number one enemy for them. That is what they are at war with. Reality is the enemy. They have to create a new reality consisting of this false reality. They are the winners. Rationality is their enemies. There's so much of winners that they are filled with pedophiles in their agencies, and on top of that, they're renowned for the pedophilia type of torture. Logic, rationality is their enemies. That's why they like to use people who are so darers. I will not let them live the fantasy, and they're like, "Oh, we'll watch." Rationality is the enemy. Who cares what they watch? They're disgusting losers and frauds, and I will not let them live the fantasy. They did this thing because they enjoy the fact that they can control, manipulate, and be involved in the technology that's so sophisticated that can do so much to people. They know that, but they wanted to live their fantasy while doing this to me. Not with me. You're gonna own up to what you're part of and know what is happening, and I'm not gonna let you live your fantasy. You sold your soul to pedophiles. Some days these things gonna come back to you. I'm glad that you enjoyed and enjoying this thing. You're just a nothing. I will never give you credit. I will never be blaming you for what was happening to me because I know who put me in this program. I know these people are just perps and bottom feeders and losers that the government uses. That I don't mind dedicating their life in doing these nasty things. Please continue to live this life. Please. I don't take it personal. I know what you are. You're just a bottom feeder. So target individuals stay strong. Rationality is the enemy of these perps. That's why they use these childlike people, clowns and cowards who will do anything to even children, infants, and will do anything to adults, stimulation, pedophilia, type of torment, all of that. They have no shame, no respect. That's why they use this crash, this trash. They don't even want to be seen because rationality is the enemy. So stay strong.